Well, what do you say we go mow some hay? The good news is the next few days are supposed to be a fair bit cooler than the last few days have been, so we got that going for us. Not that it means a whole lot, but skis. Put it in the right way. Hopefully this goes well. I mean, I'm nervous about how that thing's gonna cut. I mean, I did the best I could to set the knife up. It should cut, but I guess we're about to find out, huh? Check the oil real quick. It should be okay, but she good. Come on. There we go. Go down and grease some more up, put fuel in the cracker, we should be good to go. Well, let's see how we look here. Really, it's kind of impressive. This stuff's a lot taller than it looked from the road. And the hillside's actually filling in pretty decent. Actually, it's filling in really nice. Probably not even gonna have to bother reseeding it. If anything else, might get a little bit of alfalfa. Obviously wouldn't work, you know, anytime soon, but because really the grass looks like it's filling in, it's just the alfalfa's kind of thin. So if you got some alfalfa seed and came out here this fall and broadcast just like, you know, a couple, probably wouldn't even be a full pound, just right here where I knocked that ridge off, broadcast some alfalfa on it. A little bit of red clover, got a little bit of and the part that is odd, and I have no, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't know if, I mean, it's got to be something to do with the tower, but you can draw a square around this tower and there's no alfalfa. It all got spread to alfalfa, but the minute you cross outside, alfalfa, no alfalfa. Right in line with the tower, all four sides. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Can't explain that one. It all got, like, it all got spread the same. This is some pretty nice stuff. It probably went a little too long. It's probably a little stemmy, but I'm almost wondering, just knowing that in most years I'm probably not going to get around to doing this until I'm done planting, if I do what I did and just come in after it gets, you know, 6-7 inches tall and brush hog it to push first cutting back further. so that it's not quite as stemmy. I don't know. I mean, in all honesty though, it really doesn't look, I mean, I am very impressed. Truthfully, I think it looks better than my boss's hay field that I put in at the same time I was doing this. The difference is this had manure on it and it got fertilizer spread on it when I got done spreading everything else. So all I can say is hopefully this mower works. I'm real nervous, not gonna lie. I've been dragging my feet all day. Even after I got it hooked up and got everything greased, I went up in the shop and drank a pop and had me an oatmeal cream pie. Because I was nervous about coming over here because I'm nervous the mower's not gonna cut. It will or it won't, right? Not really a good spot to set you so you can see the bar. Try this maybe. It's a little crooked, but you get the idea. Probably gonna mow kind of slow just because of how tight this is. I don't want to be doing a bunch of, when I'm making my turns, I don't want to be tearing the field up, so I'd rather go a little slow and not tear the field up. you can run over a GoPro with a tractor and it'll still work. I don't even know what I caught. Oh, I caught a root. That'll do it. Didn't hurt the mower. Breakaway did its job. That thing's cutting really nice. I'm impressed. Those deep serrated sickles, they were the not sure if this is going to do what it's supposed to do job, but I think we're working pretty good. Things were going too smooth. Went down to pick her up to make a turn, and my dang lift link snapped again. So we're going to figure something out for that real quick. So hold please. Okay, so fast forward about an hour and a half, and I must say it's by no means perfect, but for freehanding it out with a plasma cutter out of a piece of plate steel, that's not too bad of a copy. The only thing that I didn't put in it was this profile right here. Almost need it mounted on the mower to have something to get her to keep it, you know, parallel with this. But this being solid steel rather than cast steel, this is gonna be like 10 times stronger than this ever was, so probably don't even need it. But if it gets us back mowing, I'm just hoping it fits. If it fits, we're good. If it fits, there's nothing to complain about. Looks like we're in business. Oh, that scared me for a minute. Now I gotta pick the bar up, put the pin back in, so hold please. And we're back in business. Because I tell you what, it's kind of hard to try to mow when you can't pick the bar up. So just remember, on this old stuff, for the most part, there's nothing on it that wasn't made that can't be remade with a little bit of time and effort. And obviously the Oliver dealer was closed today because it's Sunday, so you weren't going to go get that part off the shelf anymore, right? it is definitely an art form mowing with one of these things. I can tell you right now, there's going to be some skips in here. Some of them because where you think you have to run the tractor on the windrow isn't quite where the tractor actually has to run on the windrow, and by the time I got about 4 or 5 rounds into it, I was doing pretty decent. But the bar would also randomly plug in the center every once in a while, like in here. Now I'm guessing just because nothing's really shined up, because the guards are kind of crusty and the bar's kind of crusty, I'm guessing grass was just hanging up on it. So hopefully the more we use it, the better. I mean, it wasn't terrible, so hopefully the more we use it, the better it gets. Definitely need to look into putting the hydraulic cylinder on it, because I'm sure the hand lift isn't bad in bigger fields where you can mow in a circle like what you normally do with a sickle mower, and cut square corners and just, you know, starting outside and work your way in. But on this one where you can't do that, you got a bunch of little point rows up here in the front, and then mowing around that tower, which is a chore with that thing, since the mower plugs if you run it over your last pass. So it's kind of a little bit of a mess underneath the tower, but once I figure out exactly how to mow that, it'll get better. But your arm starts to get tired real quick with all that up and down. That 7-foot bar doesn't look like much till you're picking it up with that lever, and after about 8-9 times, it's like, oh boy. And the hydraulic cylinder make it nice too, so that when you're doing your point rows, you could pick the bar up and feather it, because right now you gotta hold the bar halfway up, and that ain't nothing to joke about neither. That sucker, especially when it starts to bounce, and it's and learning to cut square corners is definitely going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But today my main goal is to just get the mower working. We can work on the technique later, just getting this stuff laid down. And if that broken bracket is the only thing that causes me any sort of delay on this, then I'm fine with that. So anyhow, let's go get the 66 and the crimper and see what kind of mess we can make with that, huh? Okay, crimper's all hooked up. It was greased up. I greased it when I worked on it, so that part's good. So back to the field we go. Okay, I think I got the height set decent. I might have to adjust it. It's not sitting in a good spot, but it's where the hay started, so that's where I adjusted it. I'll get up here to the corner and check it. I don't think it's picking anything up. Yeah, we're gonna have to go lower. I don't know if you're supposed to just run it all the way down. I wouldn't think so. I think you'd want the skis just off the ground. That's on the ground. Okay, let's try that. finally we're doing it now, because it's it's picking it up now, apparently, because it's clean underneath the crimper. So well, at least that part went uneventful. Didn't even hardly put a shine on the rollers yet. Hey, what? This thing is loud. Even once you get it full of hay, it's It's just loud. I think it's just the way it is. Probably, I think I mentioned it before, those rollers are hollow. I bet the problem being you'd probably never be able to get it to work and have them be in balance. But if you could fill them full of foam, like spray foam, so if they're not an echo chamber, it'd probably quiet it down a fair bit. But you'd probably never be able to get it filled up even enough for it to be in balance to be the problem. But it does a really nice job, because one of the well, there's multiple reasons that you use a conditioner, and that's why modern hay binds just have the conditioner built right into them. Obviously, first off, it helps with drying, and then it also greatly helps with palatability, meaning how easy it is for animals to chew, swallow, and digest it. With grass, it's not a super big deal. Grass actually most of the time requires a different type of conditioner. You generally have to buy a mower with what's called a flail type conditioner. But, oh, hold on, I got company. So anyhow, back to what I was saying. Grass usually requires something called a flail type conditioner, which basically looks like, the flails look almost like flail mower knives, but how flail mower knives are usually bent in an L. Flail conditioner knives are kind of in a V shape, and they're just straight, and they're basically supposed to not necessarily, they don't really have an edge on them, they're just blunt, but they're kind of supposed to split the grass down the center and kind of fluff or soften the leaves up. But that type of conditioner that we're used to was mainly designed for broadleaf forages, which mostly are legumes, alfalfa, clover, lespedeza, things like that, that are really have really thick stems. And if I can find a decent piece here, right there. And basically what those do, and it's probably hard to tell on camera, but every couple inches it goes through and smashes the stem, and basically does exactly what it said. It just crimps the heck out of the stems, and that A, breaks the stems so that they shed moisture faster, and B, softens the stems up substantially, so like I say, to make it easier for animals to eat and digest, is the whole reason for a conditioner. We don't want that. So, and I was rebuilding that thing, I had a guy get in an argument with me because he said conditioners were what word did he say? Basically out of date. And apparently he's never run a disc mower or a hay bind with a built-in conditioner, because I'd say 75%, if not more, of the hay mowers built today have the conditioning rolls built right into them. So they're not outdated, they're just built right into the mower now. So also found out it picks the grass up a lot, or it picks the windrows up a lot better if you run in the same direction that you were running with the sickle mower. Guess I never even thought about it, because back when I used to run crimpers for my neighbor, we were running behind hay binds, so it had already been crimped once going through the mower, and it wasn't necessarily laid in any sort of pattern. But apparently, since when you go through with a mower, it's obviously going to lay down, the stems are going to fall right behind the bar, that's going to lay down. So if you're following the mower, it's going to pick the heads of the plants up first. Apparently it's easier for it to get a hold of the heads and pick them up than it is the stems if you were going opposite the direction of the mower. And if you follow the mower tracks, it'll hooverize that stuff right up without even thinking about it. But if you go opposite of the mower, it basically skims right over the top. So that outside round where I was going the same direction, or no, the opposite direction that I cut it in, it was skimming over the top, and then I skipped to the next row in and was going the same direction that I mowed it in, and it picked it right up, no problem. So fun fact for a sickle mower, if you're going to crimp behind it, you got to run in the same direction as the mower. Otherwise, it won't really pick it up. But it does leave it nice and fluffy. So, and you do find every single high spot in the field. I scalped a couple spots, but if you scalp them, they obviously needed knocked down to begin with. So I guess we'll see how it looks tomorrow. If we rake it, if I rake it tomorrow, or if I wait another day, I gotta believe it ought to be plenty dry enough to rake tomorrow. And then if nothing else, I'm gonna have to bump it over one more time before I bale it, but we'll just have to play it by ear. Don't know if it's gonna be 3-day hay or 4-day hay. We'll find out. So anyhow, I think I'm gonna run that back to my house and put it away because we're done with it for now. The sickle mower, I'm probably just gonna unhook at Dad's on the where we keep the 77, so it's on concrete, so that'll make it 10 times easier to hook up. And tomorrow we'll just see how things go. So I guess that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.